A German beast so tough it could roll through a war zone, shrug off a landmine, and still get you home for dinner. We're talking cars built like tanks, literal rolling fortresses from the land of Autobahns and engineering obsession. Stick around, because number one's a hidden gem so wild, it'll make you rethink everything you know about German classics. I'm your host, just a guy who's spent half his life elbow deep in engine grease. And this is Gearhead Garage, where we live for the roar of cylinders and the smell of burnt rubber. Today, we're diving into 10 German machines that didn't just drive, they dominated. Buckle up, it's gonna be a hell of a ride. Let's kick it off with the 1980s Mercedes-Benz W123. This thing's the granddaddy of bulletproof. Back when taxis ruled the world, these were the kings, racking up a million miles like it was a Sunday cruise. The W123 wasn't just a car. It was a family heirloom. Steel, thicker than a bank vault. Diesel engines that'd outlast your grandkids, and a ride so smooth you'd think you were gliding on schnapps. I heard a story once guy in Munich crashed his W123 into a tree, totaled the tree, and drove home. That's not a car, that's a damn Panzer. Next up, the Porsche 911 Turbo, the 930 from the 70s. This thing was a widowmaker with a turbo the size of a keg. It wasn't just fast, it was a middle finger to physics. You didn't drive it, you wrestled it. Rear engine, rear wheel drive, and a lag that'd make you pray before the boost kicked in. When it did, like strapping a jet engine to a Porsche didn't just build a car, they built a legend that laughed at anyone who thought they could tame it. Now, let's talk about the Volkswagen Type 2, the old school bus. You're thinking, hippie van, really? Hell yeah, this thing was Germany's answer to the apocalypse. Air-cooled engine, simple as a hammer, and tough enough to cross the Sahara with a load of surfboards and still make it to Woodstock. They're still out there, chugging along, carrying dreams and rust in equal measure. Ever seen one converted into a camper? It's like a Swiss Army knife with wheels functional, weirdly charming, and damn near indestructible. The BMW E33 series rolls in next. This wasn't just a yuppie mobile, it was a street fighter with a suit on. Launched in the 80s, it had that perfect balance, light as a feather. Handled like it was on rails, and engines that sang like a German opera. You could daily drive it, rally it, or drift it into oblivion, and it'd still ask for more. A buddy of mine still runs his E30 with 300,000 miles, original clutch. Try that with a modern crossover. Then there's the Audi Quattro. This thing rewrote the rulebook. Early 80s, rally stages were dominated by rear-wheel drive lunatics. Audi shows up with all-wheel drive and a turbo 5-cylinder that sounded like a chainsaw gargling whiskey. It didn't just win races, it embarrassed the competition. The road version. Same deal. Snow, mud, gravel, it didn't care. It was like driving a mountain goat with a rocket up its ass. Audi didn't just build a car, they built a dynasty. Let's shift gears to the Mercedes-Benz Unimog. Okay, it's not a car, but this truck laughs at things tanks cry about. Born in the 40s for farmers, it ended up hauling military gear through jungles and deserts. Portal axles, ground clearance that'd make a monster truck blush, and a frame that could bench press a house. I saw one pull a stuck semi out of a ditch once, driver sipping coffee like it was no big deal. Unimog doesn't drive over obstacles, it humiliates them. The Volkswagen Beetle's gotta get a nod. Yeah, it's cute, but don't sleep on it. Designed in the 30s, it was Hitler's people's car, but it outlived that dark shadow to become a global icon. Air-cooled rear engine and built like a steel turtle. You could drive it off a cliff and it'd probably just bounce. In Mexico, they were still pumping these out in the 2000s. Try finding a modern car that'll last 7 decades. Then we've got the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. Born in the 70s for soldiers, it's the only SUV that could stare down a Hummer and win. Boxy, heavy, and over-engineered to hell. It's like driving a bank vault with a V8. Farmers used M, armies used M, and now rappers used M to flex. Doesn't matter who's behind the wheel, this thing's eternal. Fun fact, the Pope had one. If it's good enough for the big guy upstairs, it's good enough for you. Number 2's the Opel Kadett. Bet you didn't see that coming. This boxy little 80s Iconocar was a sleeper hit. Built like a brick, handled like a go-kart, and cheap enough to be everyone's first car. In Europe, they rallied these things into the ground, and they kept coming back for more. It's the kind of car you'd find in a barn, covered in dust. Fire it up, and it'd still run like it was 1985. Opel knew how to make M tough. Alright, you've been patient. The number 1 German classic, built like a tank. The Trabant 601. Yeah, I'm serious. Hear me out. East Germany's answer to the Beetle was made of freaking plastic Duraplast. To be exact, sounds flimsy, but this stuff was tougher than some metals. No rust, ever. Engine was a 2-stroke, sounded like a lawnmower, but you could rebuild it with a wrench and a bad attitude. These things survived communism, the Berlin Wall's fall, and decades of neglect. Try killing one. You can't. It's the cockroach of cars, and I mean that with love. These machines weren't just built, they were forged. Germany didn't mess around when it came to engineering that could take a beating and keep rolling. Each one's a story, a piece of history you can feel through the steering wheel. So here's the big question. What's the toughest car you've ever driven? Drop it in the comments, because I know you gearheads have stories. If you loved this ride through German iron, smash that like button, share it with your car-crazy friends, and subscribe to Gearhead Garage for more. Until next time, keep the revs high and the rubber side down.